They say the first thing you notice isn't the light. It's the taste of pennies. A sharp metallic tang on your tongue that tells you you're already a ghost. 1806. A blue flash so bright it felt like the sun just birthed itself inside a concrete tank. And there's Bob, staring at his hands while his DNA literally unspools like a broken cassette tape. I watched it happen. I watched him become a dead man while he was still standing. And God help me, I'm the one who handed him the match. I'm the one who told him to pour it. Well, let's go back. July 24, 1964. Wood River Junction. You see, this place wasn't some sleek, high-tech sci-fi lab. It was a factory. A dirty, concrete box sitting out in the middle of nowhere in Rhode Island, where we wrung every last drop of uranium out of scrap. It was hot that day. Oppressive, sticky summer heat that makes your coveralls cling to your back like a second sweaty skin. You could feel the humidity in your lungs with every breath. I was the shift supervisor, the 4 to 12 evening shift. We walked in at 4 o'clock, drinking stale coffee, wiping sweat off our necks. Just a normal Friday. Everyone was thinking about the weekend, about the beach, about anything but the chemicals we were breathing. Bob, Robert Peabody, he was one of my technicians. 37 years old, dark hair starting to thin out, always looked a little exhausted. I remember him sitting in the break room at 4:15, complaining about a chain on his son's bike. He'd spent all morning trying to fix the damn thing so the kid could ride it to the pond on Saturday. He was a family man. Simple. Hardworking. He'd promised his wife he wouldn't be late for dinner. "Just a routine wash down, then I'm out of here," he said, wiping his greasy hands on a rag. God, I hate that word now. Routine. In a place like Wood River, the rules, they only protect you if the blueprint actually makes sense. But the blueprint was already decaying. It was a minefield of almosts and nearly identicals. It was just a matter of time before someone stepped on the wrong tile. Let me explain something about uranium. In this business, geometry is God. We call it safe geometry. If you keep concentrated uranium in a thin, vertical pipe, it sleeps. The neutrons have nowhere to go but out. It's safe. But if you pour that exact same liquid into a fat, round tank, it wakes up. The atoms bounce off each other. They multiply. They find a rhythm. And boom, criticality. An invisible fire that doesn't burn your skin, not at first. It breaks your soul. It tears the building blocks of your body apart before you even know you're hurt. We had this stuff, highly concentrated uranyl nitrate. We kept it in these big 11-liter glass jugs. Just ordinary glass bottles, like the ones you'd keep cider or moonshine in. Earlier that day, somebody had made a mistake, a big one. They filled one of these bottles with the concentrated uranium slurry from the evaporator. They called it Bottle Y. They put it on a cart near the wall, inside a little fenced-off area. Marked it as dangerous, sure. But labels fade. Labels don't talk. And in the dim light of a Friday shift, everything looks the same. And here's the sick, cosmic joke of it all. Right near that exact same spot, we kept the exact same type of glass bottles filled with TCE, trichloroethylene, a completely harmless organic solvent we used for cleaning. Same shape, same weight, same clear, deceptive liquid inside. It was about 10 minutes to 6. 1750. Bob comes up to me near the control panel. He looks tired. His forehead is beaded with sweat. He asks if we need to prep a separate clean batch of TCE to wash out the extraction tower. I was busy. I was looking at some damn production log, thinking about my own dinner, my own life. I didn't even look him in the eye. I just said, "Nah, Bob, we don't need clean TCE for the tower. Just use what's on the floor." 10 words. 10 stupid, lazy words that I've repeated in my head every single night for the last 40 years. If I had just said, "Go get the clean stuff," if I had just walked down those metal stairs with him, he'd be an old man now. But Bob walked into that storage area at 6 o'clock, and his brain was primed for solvent. He saw an 11-liter bottle sitting on a cart. He didn't check the label. Why would he? It was exactly where the TCE was supposed to be. He didn't grab the solvent. He grabbed bottle Y. He grabbed 10 liters of liquid hell. He heaved that bottle into his cart. I can hear the rattle of the metal wheels on the concrete. Clack, clack. Clack, clack. Alone. Just a guy doing his job on a Friday evening. Around 1804, he carries that heavy glass jug up to the second floor. He walks over to a tank. Makeup tank 1D11. It's a big, wide tank, a geometry nightmare. It already had about 15 gallons of sodium carbonate spinning inside it. The agitator was churning, creating a perfect swirling vortex. Bob didn't just stand on the floor. He couldn't. He had to climb the metal ladder up to the narrow platform attached to the side of the tank. He's standing there, 10 feet up, his boots on the rusted metal grating. He popped the lid. The smell of chemicals was thick. He tilted the bottle. He's pouring 10 liters of highly enriched uranium into a fat, spinning tank. 1806. The tank went critical. It wasn't a bomb. There was no explosion. Just a flash, a blinding, impossible neon blue flash of Cherenkov radiation. The liquid geysered straight up, a violent eruption of yellow sludge and boiling chemicals that hit the ceiling and rained back down. The force of the reaction was like an invisible punch from a god. It hit him in the chest. It threw Bob backward off the metal platform. He fell 10 feet through the air, crashing onto the concrete floor with a sound I can still hear. The bottle just slipped from his hands and stuck exactly into the tank hatch, neck down, still glugging the last of its poison into the mix. Then the alarms hit. All 6 stationary gamma detectors pegged instantly over their max limit, over 20 milliroentgens per hour. The sirens didn't ring, they shrieked. It sounded like the building itself was screaming in pain, realizing it had just become a tomb. Protocol. You don't think, you just run. The manual says evacuate to the emergency shack, 450 feet away. We ran out into the fading evening light. The air felt fresh for a second. Then I saw Bob. God, Bob. He stumbled out of the doors, his face deathly pale, and he just started ripping his clothes off. Ripping off that white coverall, his boots, his shirt, throwing them into a toxic pile near the fence. He was naked, shivering in the Rhode Island dirt, yelling that his skin was crawling. He knew. We all knew. His body had just absorbed over 10,000 rads. In that 1 second of blue light, his cells were basically turned into glass. He was a dead man walking. By 1810, we were all crammed into that tiny, dark wooden shack. I threw blankets over him, trying to stop the shivering, but it wasn't the cold. It was the shock. His nervous system was short-circuiting. Within 5 minutes, the vomiting started, violent, projectile vomiting. Then the bleeding. He was holding his stomach, crying out for his wife, his voice getting thinner and thinner. He tried to stand up twice, some primal instinct to get away, but his legs were like jelly. The radiation was shredding his DNA in real time. It's like being cooked from the inside out, but you're still awake to feel it. I grabbed the rotary phone in the shack. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely dial. I called the manager, the police, anyone. Outside the shack, the guys were checking the Geiger counters. 5 minutes after the flash, 100 millirent an hour. Even out here, 400 feet away, the air was poisoned. The ambulance finally came around 1910. They loaded him into the back, wrapped in lead-lined blankets. I watched those red taillights disappear down the dirt road. He made it to the hospital, but it was just a formality. He died 2 days later, his organs just giving up. But the nightmare wasn't over. At 1945, me and the plant manager, we had to go back in. Re-entry, walking back into the graveyard. We had to go to the roof first, measuring the invisible fire pouring out of the vents. Then we went inside, to that second floor. The silence was the worst part. No machines running now, just the hum of the agitator that we had to turn off. I saw his empty cart. I saw the yellow stains on the ceiling. We had to pull that upside-down glass bottle out of the tank and drain the liquid into safe containers, praying the whole time that the blue light wouldn't come back. The smell of ozone was so thick I could taste it for a week. They investigated, of course. They blamed the labels. They blamed the training. But I know the truth. You build a system where a single human mistake, a single tired word from a supervisor can cause a nuclear meltdown, and the blueprint is already broken. I still see his face. Every time I see a kid on a bike. Every time I taste something metallic. Nah, Bob, we don't need clean TCE. I'm 70 now, and I'm still waiting for that blue light to come from me, too.
Subscribe to Blueprint Decay. Don't look away from the blue light.